ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Despite the 242 being COVID-19 free so far, Bahamian sports still being affected. We understand the Bahamas will not be attending the Carifta Swimming Championships, nor will our men's national soccer team be able to compete in their CONCACAF Gold Cup opener with French Guiana. Local sports are also taking a hit. Earlier today, the National High School Track and Field Championships were called off. Amajal Knowles tells us more.
An empty track is certainly not the visual officials had in mind when they pictured day 2 of the 2020 High School Track and Field Nationals, but it's certainly now a reality. Dozens of Family Island students filling the lobby area of the Courtyard Marriott after the decision was made to postpone the 2020 High School Track and Field Nationals until further notice. An emergency meeting was held in the aftermath to deal with the fallout and the path moving forward. B3's President Jamiko Archer tells us more.
The Director of Sports indicated under no uncertain terms that there were no reported cases of the virus. This was a precautionary measure taken by the government of the Bahamas to eliminate any possible outbreak or spread of the virus.
Now, after spending weeks of training and thousands of dollars have been spent on transportation and accommodation, athletes and coaches were understandably disappointed, but the coaches say that they understand why the government took the precautionary measures.
We, first of all, support the director and his team and the decision that they made. There's no need for fear. We are comfortable at the hotel.
So a few kids cried about it, but that's something we gotta be very cautious about. This is our health, and I think the minister did the right call in providing safety for our health.
It was a challenge for us, getting over to Nassau. And the whole idea about this thing was to come here and to give a good showing. But we understand that precautionary measures have to be, has to take place.
The students are disappointed, but they understand it's for their good.
Now, the event does serve as a qualifier for the 2020 Carifta Games, with the track and field portion set to take place in Bermuda. President of the Bermuda National Athletics Association, Donna Rayner, has recently gone on record saying the body had been confident of being able to stage the event due to the limited footprint of the coronavirus in the Caribbean so far, but even that could change in a matter of days. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Italy, one of those countries heavily affected by COVID-19. Christopher Gadet is currently a student athlete there, hoping to one day pursue a professional soccer career.
Rome isn't as hugely affected as the north. They're seeing the most cases and the most trouble right now. A few days ago, Italy went into basically red zone lockdown. For me as a student, that meant my university was closed. All sporting activities in the country have been stopped. They've politely requested that we remain indoors. For me, it was it's not different than being indoors for a hurricane. You can't leave the house, and I've been through quite a few of those, so it wasn't anything crazy. My schoolmates are dealing with it fairly well. We had a sinking suspicion that things would escalate. And we went ahead and procured our necessary supplies, and we're willing to ride it out and see how the rest of it goes.
All pro basketball players in Europe being affected by COVID-19 as well. Michael Carey Jr. recently signed on with the Pulley Foxes in Switzerland. Fellow national team player Willis Mackey is in Spain with Carballosa.
The first thing that was said to us was a week ago about that the Swiss Basketball League was postponing the games for 2 more days, but our Americans, just literally left 3 hours ago, to get back. Me personally, I leave Friday midday. I'm supposed to fly back to Miami, and I told them to divert my whole travel plan and just send me straight back home, man, because I don't want to risk anything. They're going to stop the league until April 19th.
Our coach just told us as of right now the next 2 games are canceled. And as of right now, practice is canceled until further notice. He said we're going to check the situation again on Monday. The thing is, our arena is the ones that's closing everything down too. And obviously everything around here is slowly but surely just closing. Like we have a big university here, they obviously closing down and everything. Also, they advising us to obviously stay in our apartments, but to go to the store, stock up on some food and just chill here. But other than that, they're telling us not to leave, don't go to no clubs, don't go to no bars.
March Madness is the pinnacle for student athletes who compete at the Division I level, and so far one Bahamian had realized that dream this season. Charles Bain and the Robert Morris Colonials clinching the Northeast Conference's automatic berth. That joy, though, was short-lived. Earlier today, the NCAA announcing that the rest of its winter and spring championships have been canceled due to concerns surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic, that is. COVID-19 also dealing a big blow to the NBA after making light of the situation earlier in the week during a press conference where he wiped his hands all over the podium mics. Utah Jazz big man Rudy Gobert tested positive before last night's game against the Thunder, forcing the NBA to step in. They originally planned to let last night's games play out with the exception of the Jazz and Thunder, meaning Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings were supposed to close things out with a matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans, but that game was halted right before the tip as one of the referees had called the Jazz game within the last 2 weeks. Sources now say the NBA will go on a 30-day hiatus, but it might be even longer than that. Some sporting activity able to continue here at home last night. The New Providence Volleyball Association's Best of 5 championships closing out at the Donald Davis Gym. In ladies play, the Warhawks unable to stay alive. They were swept aside by the Panthers, losing in 4 sets, 25-14, 25-13, 23-25, and 25-19. Rachel Knowles led the Panthers with 15 kills, 3 aces, and 2 blocks. Janae Saunders added 17 kills, while Latavia Brennan had 10 kills, 2 blocks, and an ace. For the Warhawks, Barbara Karai had 9 kills and a block. Sidling Jasilian also with 9 kills.
As the season went on, they really improved their play a whole lot. And indeed, during the playoffs and indeed the championship games, they improved a whole lot. I'm very pleased with their play. And as a matter of fact, I think it's going to be better next year.
It was really tough in the beginning because we added new players and they jumped along with the whole motion of our team dynamics. And I think we did really well this year.
This year, for some unknown reason, is more gratifying than last year when we were able to stop Vixen's streak. See, now what happened was that those young ladies happened to win 1 game during the regular season, as they did last year, stop our perfect season, and they celebrated as if they had won the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals. You know, so these young ladies of mine, they were prepared to show them that, hey, you ladies are not on our level. Show some respect.
In men's play, the defenders also in a must-win after falling down 2-0 to the Warhawks. This one going the 5-set distance, with the Warhawks also bringing out the brooms, winning in a dramatic come-from-behind fashion, 23-25, 21-25, 25-20, 25-23, and 50-11. Chauncey Cooper leading the Warhawks, 22 kills. Donovan Wilmot had 19 kills and 3 blocks. Tyrone Sands Jr., 7 kills, 4 blocks, and an ace. The defenders getting 27 kills, 3 aces, and 2 blocks from Jamal Ferguson. Jesse Delancey had 19 kills, while Lorenzo Williams added 6 kills and 3 blocks. The Providence Basketball Association's Best of 3 first-round playoffs back on the floor last night at the AFI Gym. Just one of the 4 Division I series going the distance. The University of the Bahamas Mingos and JD Seafood Shockers playing for the right to meet the Discount Distributor Rockets in the semifinal round. Mingos would complete the backdoor sweep, winning 91-71. All 5 Mingo starters in double figures. Ujama Johnson led the way with 20 points. Robert Joseph and Campsey Sylvester, 14 points apiece. Rashad Serp had 12 points and 16 rebounds. Romero Corner shipping in with 11 points.
Our defense really stepped up the whole way, and we executed. We listened to the coach, and we just came out with a victory.
The guys came out off the bench, and some of the non-faculty guys scored a lot of points today and got into it. And we just trusted our teammates, and they came through for us.
We came out the first game a little slow, but we decided that we was going to get more hungry. The other team played a heck of a game.
Well, the thing that I like, they face guarded me all the game, so that opened up the game for everybody else, allowed them to get easy layups, easy shots, and it just was working all game.
The NCAA Division II Swimming Championships coming to a screeching halt after just a day and a half. Devontae Carey and McKendry, they won the men's 200 medley relay last night, setting a new facility record, winning in 1:25.29. Kerry got it going on the opening leg, clocking 21.45. Kerry right back out this morning in the pool for the 100 butterfly prelims. He was 24th in 48.70. Kerry and McKendry also in the 400 medley relay prelims this morning. They had the third fastest time, clocking 3:12.07. Now Kerry swam the opening leg there in 49.02. Jared Fitzgerald also in the pool today for the Tampa Spartans. He was 25th in the 200 freestyle in 139.18. Fitzgerald on the Spartans also in the 400 medley relay. They finished 15th in 3:16.58. The Bahamian on the ankle leg clocking 44.19. The National Invitational Swim Championships only getting one session in. Howard's Luke Kennedy Thompson, he was in the pool this morning for the 200 IM. He finished 36 overall in 154.31. From the college gridiron, 2 years after making a splash in the Bahamas with the unconventional sponsorship of a college football bowl game, Makers Wanted officials have decided not to return for a third year. According to Elk Grove Mayor Craig Johnson, marketing plans change and evolve, and it was the feeling of the board that it's time to look for another way to promote their community, with their 2-year run in the Bahamas having served its purpose of gaining worldwide exposure for their village and industrial park. March 1st was the deadline for ESPN to renew the sponsorship. The first 2 years came at a cost of $300,000. This year's price went up to $315,000, but Johnson said that had nothing to do with their decision. The Bahamas Bowl is expected to continue. No word yet on any potential replacement sponsors. That will do it for sports. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.